coming into the last couple weeks of August, moving into September.
Yep. Again, this is a new Coast to Coast show. Ian Martin alongside Jeremy Schnell here, and we're going to talk some baseball. So let's go around the national. We're going to start with the American League or the National League?
Let's start with the American League East. Right now, Boston is 3 games ahead of Tampa Bay. Jeremy, who do you think could end up winning that? And don't forget, Baltimore is 5.5 games out. Who do you think?
Well, I really, really like Boston right now, but I think Tampa's, with the offense that they have, they're going to just going to creep up on Boston. One of those two teams is going to win the number 1 wild card spot. That's no surprise there. But it's just which one is going to win the division that's what's going to be the surprise there.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I'm not really sure if Boston can hold up. They're not too veteran of a team. Tampa Bay, I believe, they've been in this situation before. Yeah. I can see them making a run for it.
Now in the Central, we have Detroit up 7 games on Cleveland, and Kansas City has been playing well of late, but I don't see them making a run or push to the playoffs right now.
No, I don't either. Detroit with Miguel Cabrera, who's arguably the best right-handed hitter in all of baseball right now. I feel like Detroit has the veteran presence in their lineup that Cleveland and Kansas City lack. Cleveland, Nick Swisher, Jason Kipnis, Carlos Santana, they're good young players. Yeah. It's a good young core, but they haven't been in the situation, so I feel like they will not come up in the clutch.
Yeah, but Cleveland still has some very good players in Nick Swisher, and they have Chu. They have Chu, and
no, Chu's on the Reds actually.
Oh right, yeah, that's right. What am I thinking? They have studs. They have studs. So I don't know. They made that trade early last year or late last year, and I guess I don't know. I like Chu on Cleveland. I think that could have helped them a lot more this year. So we still got.
Yeah, if Shin Chu was on Cleveland, I believe they would be closer than 7 games behind Detroit. I feel like they could be making a run like 2 games, maybe even leading that division, because Cleveland, I believe, is that good of an offensive team. And if Mark Reynolds didn't turn out to be such a bust, that team could have been very good. Detroit might have been quite a scare.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit is playing very, 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 very well right now. And even though they lost to the Yankees today, they still have a 7-game lead over Cleveland.
Yeah, their last 10, they've won 8 out of 10. I don't know. It's just hard to explain how these guys are doing so great. Like, sure, you look up and down their lineup, it's stacked. You look into their pitching rotation with Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Doug Fister. Those are really good pitchers right there, and they have a good offense. It's almost like they're the new Yankees in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with once they get into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they really will be.
Now let's go on to the American League West. You got Texas, who just took over the number 1 spot in that division over Oakland, and Oakland is still 1 game behind Texas. So, I mean, the Mariners are 14 games out, and the Angels are tied with them. So, I don't see them making any push.
I see Texas winning this division just because, I don't know, I feel like they have a little more veteran presence, maybe a little more experience. Oakland's only had 1 year in the playoffs, only 1 good year, and that was last year. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure 2 years into the playoff, your second year into the playoffs after such a long drought, you can make a run at the World Series, make a big September rally. But given they're only 1 game back, they could make that rally. But I don't know. I see Texas winning this. And don't forget Seattle and Los Angeles. Seattle, I forget what year it was. I believe it was 1995. Came back 11 and a half games in September. Seattle's not too far behind that, and they've been playing pretty bad of late, but they were hot for an extended period of time and ran the lead in the division to about 10 games. So, I don't know. Texas probably will win this division, but look out for Seattle and Los Angeles.
Yeah. I mean, I was really rooting for them to make a push because they won like 10 straight at one point, and I was rooting for them, and then they lost. They got swept by Cleveland, I think, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, Texas, I don't know. It's hard to. They don't without Nelson Cruz. I'm not sure, but Nelson Cruz was such a big part of that lineup. But Yu Darvish, oh my, he is a great pitcher.
Cy Young candidate this year.
Yeah, I believe he's a Cy Young candidate. Last year he was even a Cy Young candidate, but I don't know. He's kind of faltered against the AL West in the games I've seen. Against the Mariners, he throws like 80 pitches in the first 2 or 3 innings. So I'm not sure. It might be just something in his mind against the AL West, but he's a good pitcher though.
Well, Ian, we got someone calling in. We got Robert Dieters, the president of National Sports, calling in. Let's listen in to what Dieters has to say. Dieters, you there?
Jeremy, thank you for letting me on the show. And, you were talking about Texas and Oakland. Here's a rivalry over there for the AL West. Both teams are very competitional. But, you said the Rangers could go out, or Ian said that. I think the AHL, they got a lot of young talent. This team, I think, could really do something and pull it off. All their young talent, I really like how they're doing this year. Josh Reddick had 5 homers in 2 games. Man, that's going to be very hot. Lauren Cespedes has been great this year, fantastic. People both below, Grant Balfour. I think this team could actually make, maybe not the World Series of the ALCS. This team is really that good. I think they can win the AL West and take it away. The Rangers just barely like they did last year. The last game, they took it, and I think they can do it again.
Now, they do have Bartolo Colon, but besides him, who do you think could take over as their number 2 pitcher?
Jared Parker. Jared Parker has been pretty good in my opinion. He's done really well this year. Unfortunately, this year I was really disappointed this year. Tommy Malone. I thought he could have a better year, to tell you the honest truth, but now this guy just doesn't do well. And you know what the A's did a couple of years back? They got rid of Gio Gonzalez, Trevor Cahill, and Brandon McCarthy. I think 3 big guys that I think they should have kept Brandon McCarthy in my opinion. This guy was supposed to be one of the best pitchers. He's doing pretty well with the Diamondbacks and well as Trevor Cahill. But, this team got a new pitching staff and, it done pretty well for him. But, I think, Brandon McCarthy was good last year. Maybe that ball hit to the head wasn't the greatest. But, I think Brandon McCarthy could have been a really good pitcher. I think this team would have done even better if they had Brandon McCarthy.
Now, you think of... Go ahead.
I want to say something, Jeremy.
Yeah.
So, Robert, I'm looking at it right now. Bartolo Colon was the Athletics leader in wins and ERA, and I believe innings pitched. How will the A's be able to produce that without their veteran leader? He was almost the entire rotation. He was just pitching so well. How do you duplicate that in one of these younger guys?
I think he did pretty well. I mean, I know he's had the talks with TDs and everything, and I kind of agree with it. Bartolo Colon is not having this awesome year out of nowhere. This guy gets over, you believe he has 13 or 14 wins right now, and this guy just does really well for some weird reason. And, he didn't get suspended. He got suspended last year, but, he's done really well this veteran. I think his last good season was in 05. He won the Cy Young Award with the Angels. Now he comes all the way back when he's way older and does something that I didn't really expect the A's to see out of him. But, this guy has done pretty well. I mean, I can't argue. And the Oakland A's, I think, just have a really great team, in my opinion. Josh Donaldson has also been a very impressive player, in my opinion. A guy that probably got snubbed at the All-Star game, but there's too many good third basemen this year in the AL. I just really like this team. Ted Lowry, I also really like, and John Jaso. I mean, all these guys have great power, great offense. Pitching staff has done pretty well this year as well. I think Bartolo Colon can keep this hot streak going. And, I can't wait for this team to make the playoffs.
And, of course, the home run derby champion, Yoenis Cespedes there. And do you think if Oakland beats the Rangers in that National or American League West chase, do you think the Rangers don't make the playoffs this year?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't see them making it, in my opinion. I think, that AL wild card's already taken up right now, and it's a hard race right now, not wild card. It's too hard right now. I don't think
Definitely. And Robert Dieter is here with us again. Great insight on the the American League West, and thanks for joining us, Robert.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Keep on doing a great show right now.
All right, thanks, man. Again, Robert Dieters. So, Ian, as we move on here on the show, the Coast to Coast show, we have the National League East coming up here. You want to take a break, and then we'll come back with some National League predictions?
Sure, that sounds good.
All right, you're listening to the Coast to Coast show on National Sports.
What you did in the dark. So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up, I'm on fire. So light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up, I'm on fire. Riders keep riding with me. Somewhere or another, pretty dangerous. I got the scars from tomorrow, and I wish you could see that you're the antidote to everything except for me. A constellation of tears on your lashes.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast show here with Jeremy Snell and Ian Martin. So we're going to talk some National League East baseball, and so we got the Braves doing really well in that division right now as they just beat the Marlins today, as they lost their first after winning 9 straight. They're winning by 15 games in that division. I don't think any team is going to catch them. Right? What do you think?
No. Right now it's right now it's in that division. It's basically if Atlanta can get the first seed in the playoffs. That's Atlanta's competition right now.
Mm-hmm.
Their big focus on their competition probably is the Pittsburgh Pirates. That is a later discussion, but it is absolutely amazing. You think about it. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you had the Phillies, the Braves, and the Nationals coming into their prime. Now, all two of those 3 teams I just mentioned are under 500. And they're 15, 16, 17 games back of the leader in their division. It's absolutely crazy how bad this division is this year. Like, you have 4 teams all within 4 games of each other. The Philadelphia Phillies, New York Mets, and Washington Nationals. All those teams are within 15 to 20 games behind the Atlanta Braves.
That's crazy.
It is just it is ridiculous. The Braves have just they went out and got the Upton brothers, and they have taken a step back. Like,
yeah.
Justin Upton's shown us why he is a elite player in this league. And Evan Gattis, their rookie catcher, he's even shown us. I believe he is almost a better rookie than Yasiel Puig. That is a large statement, but that is what I believe.
Yeah, I mean, but B.J. Upton, he's hitting under 200 right now. I don't know what's going on with him. Something's got to change for him if they want to make a run in this postseason coming up.
Well, yeah, I agree with you on B.J. Upton's standpoint, but what he brings to the team is a defensive, speedy outfielder.
Right.
Like, he could be batting 200 for all I care, but if he's fielding well, he has a shot at the Gold Glove. If he can steal a base,
yeah.
If he's not starting, you can put him in to steal a base, put him in to bunt the ball. I don't know. If he figures things out, this team's the easy favorite to win the World Series. Because B.J. Upton with that speed, and if Jason Hayward if he could start like showing us his real potential, showing us he is that guy to come in, hit 330, hit 20, 30 home runs, I feel like this team would be a contender for years to come.
Yeah, and they have the best record in baseball right now after winning 9 out of their last 10. So, I mean, that's pretty dang good.
It is pretty impressive. I don't want to forget this really fast. Their pitching has been absolutely dominant, and their home record is just unbelievable. They're 40-16 at home. That is a great stat if you want to go into the postseason as the number 1 team, knowing you'll win most of your games at home. That'll probably get you into the World Series.
Mm-hmm. Now, they have Mike Minor, Chris Medlin, Brandon Beachy. I mean, Julio Turan. I mean, they got some good starters there, and they're missing Hudson right now after he got injured by covering first base. But once he comes back, I mean, the team is going to be really, really good for years to come.
Yeah, their pitching's good, but their pitching's better than average. But their hitting is setting the tone for everybody else.
Yeah.
You can't replicate what the Atlanta Braves are doing down there right now.
You can't forget Freddie Freeman and Chris Johnson he's hitting 330 right now?
Oh yeah, Chris Johnson, I believe might be I don't know. He could be a runner for National League MVP this year.
Definitely.
He's been so good for them. He's batting, I believe, 340.
Yeah,
he's batting 336. Sorry,
leading the batting chase right now.
Yeah, he's batting 336. He came out of nowhere, and he's just leading this team. But
came out of my home state, Naples, Florida.
And you look up down their lineup, Justin Upton has 22 home runs. Not a lot, but it's a good number for a middle-of-order guy, speedy outfielder. Freddie Freeman, he has 80 RBIs, 130 hits. It's just their offense is so awesome. I don't know, this is what I would want to be as a manager. I want my team to be the Atlanta Braves.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree with everything that you've been saying, and they lead they have the best record in baseball by 1 game over the Red Sox right now, and 2 games over Pittsburgh. So
yeah.
So let's move on to that Central Division with Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Cincinnati. You got some really good teams with St. Louis 4 games behind Pittsburgh right now in that chase. And Cincinnati only 6 games back, but they're just going for the second wild card at this point. So, what do you think of this division?
Yeah, I believe it's a little too early to call Cincinnati already giving up and going for the second wild card. I remember last year Pittsburgh had a big lead and they blew it to St. Louis. St. Louis, given is a veteran team, has done this many times before. I don't know. It's St. Louis. They keep doing it somehow without Albert Pujols. They keep doing it. They find guys like Matt Carpenter, Alan Craig. These guys are producing.
Beltran.
I believe St. Louis, at the end of the day, when October rolls around, St. Louis will have won the Central, and Pittsburgh and Cincinnati will be that wild card, like you said, because honestly, in the National League, there's not too many great teams.
I mean, these players come out of nowhere, like the rookies, like Lance Lynn and Shelby Miller. These are the rookies that come in and they produce right away for their team. I mean, how does that happen?
It's amazing. Their farm system is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they've been like the Astros and gotten first place picks year after year after year. They've done well. They've been an over 500 team for the past couple of seasons. They just pick these guys up, and you think about it, they still have a top 5 farm system. Can you even imagine bringing in a farm system like that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who they have down there. That's great. But bring in, I don't know, another pitcher, another hitter to that lineup, that's good. That team is set for destruction. They're getting a little old, but wow, somehow they just keep doing it. And Pittsburgh, I'm sorry, I feel like you will just flail off the end.
Yes, definitely. And they got the top farm system in baseball. I mean, they're set for years to come. And Pittsburgh is going to finish over 500 for the first time in like 20 years, which is a huge accomplishment. But
it's huge.
This is the St. Louis Cardinals division, and it always has been. And I don't know.
I don't. The last team I believe that could have gave the St. Louis Cardinals a run for their money was the Cincinnati Reds 2 years ago. when Votto was clicking, when Brandon Phillips was clicking, when Jay Bruce was clicking, when all those guys were on their A game. But without those guys on their A game, Cincinnati Reds can't even compete with how good these guys are.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Pittsburgh, I really like Pittsburgh in this division. Actually, I like the players that they have. I like the players they went out and got, like Gabby Sanchez, and they just have some really, really nice young prospects in Marte and McCutcheon. Obviously, they have good, solid hitters, and I like them a lot. I think they'll edge out St. Louis, actually, and St. Louis will be the wild card, and so will Cincinnati.
I think I'll have to disagree with you on that one. Pittsburgh, for me, is a little too young of a team. I'm not sure. Like I said earlier in the conversation about Oakland Athletics, they haven't been here in a while. Mm-hmm. Same with the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have not been here in a while. I feel like just because of that inexperience and that lack of playoff atmosphere, I feel like St. Louis will just win that division because they've been there so many times and all those players are so used to it.
Definitely, yeah. And let's move on to the division with the hottest team in baseball right now is arguably the hottest team in baseball with the LA Dodgers in the National League West with Arizona and Colorado, San Diego, and San Francisco. What happened to San Francisco? What happened?
I don't even know. I predicted them to win this division.
Yeah, obviously the World Series champions from last year.
What? I can't.
World Series champions last year. I mean,
yeah, like I just said, I thought they would win the World Series this year. Buster Posey returning. I feel like he would have had. I feel like he would have batted like 350 with 20 or 30 home runs and just been that MVP candidate right away. But he hasn't been that guy. He hasn't been the guy who's batting like 330, 340, who can lead your team. But San Francisco Giants, they have a quality offense and a quality pitching staff, but they don't have one big bat in their lineup who shows up every day. Buster Posey is a contact hitter. He's not that power hitter who can just drive the ball.
Yeah. And we'll get to the Dodgers in a second. I mean, San Diego and Colorado, it seemed like just a week ago they were 6 games behind the first place team, Arizona, at that time. And I don't even know what they're now 13 games behind, and Arizona's 6 games behind the Dodgers, the hottest team in baseball.
Yeah, the Dodgers are an interesting team. One of the big questions I have is, what are they going to do with 4 outfielders when Matt Kemp comes back?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because Matt Kemp and you still got
Yasiel Puig,
Andre Ethier. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I mean they got 4 solid outfielders, and I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's hard. Their team is just, they came out of the blue, kind of. They spent a lot of money and they came out of the blue. Like, Adrian Gonzalez has had a surprisingly good year. He's batting just under 300 with 16 home runs and 70 RBIs. But he's been that guy who he was at San Diego. He was the heart of their lineup there, and I believe here he is the heart of their lineup. He's a veteran first baseman, left-handed hitter who at that ballpark could pull the ball and get it out just with that short right field fence. But Yasiel Puig is an interesting guy coming over from Cuba. He's just lit it up here with that spark in their lineup. I might put them in the championship series along with the Braves.
Yeah. Oh well. Definitely. And we got Bay Area expert here on the line, Robert Dieters. I'm assuming here to talk about the San Francisco Giants. Robert, you there?
Yes, I am. And I like to talk to the Giants here. You guys are talking about how they won 2012 World Series, and now they just blew it. Yeah, they're not good this year whatsoever. Their pitching is horrific this year. Volosan gets hurt. Right? So Volosan doesn't do well in the beginning, starts getting better and better, has an injury in the beginning of the season, and blows that out. Pagan gets hurt. We just call up a lot of rookies at this point, a lot of guys that are brand new to the team. Hector Sanchez really, I thought he was going to make the team this year, and I want to send it on Guillermo, who's been calling up the whole season. Matt Chain hasn't been himself this year. Zito hasn't won a game on the road. Lincecum's a game better. Offensive side, Serposi, a guy that's still putting up great numbers. I'm still liking him this year. He's valuing over 300. Probably one of the only guys that's actually done something this year. Brandon Belt, this is an improving year for him. Marcus Guerrero's just getting old, the guy that really can't do much. Pablo Sandoval, a man that I can't really explain it because this guy just really disappointed me this year. He doesn't even have 10 homers. He has 9.
No, my.
He only has 2 RBIs. Hence, I thought would be a lot better. I thought he would hit at least 20. Haven't seen any of that whatsoever. Gregor Blanco's just been a guy that can just get on base, but he's had some struggles, but this guy's done pretty well. I don't think the Giants, they didn't get that one guy. That one guy, as you guys talked about, just didn't get a 20 to 30 home run guy that can be clutch. In a situation where, second and third, 1 out, maybe a guy on third with 2 outs, a guy that can really come up big for the Giants.
Yeah. Now, what happened to Lincecum over the last 2 years? Because he was a Cy Young winner 2 years in a row, and he did have that no-hitter earlier in the year. But what's happened to him?
His fastball went down a lot. If you've noticed, he was about really high 90s when he was pitching his fastball. For some reason, he just can't get it up to about 95, 96 anymore. He went down like 90s, like below 90s, like 90, 91. And, he said that's really affected him over the time, and that's what's really killed him. And, I agree with that. I mean, this guy really, 2 Cy Young award winner seasons, and for some reason now he just doesn't have a high enough fastball. He said he's not controlling the ball as he used to. This guy now, his contract's up, and I don't know what the Giants are going to do with him, to tell you honestly. I'm glad Zito will be gone. When Zito's gone, I'm going to be having a party, because that guy needs to leave.
That huge contract that they signed him to, they've been just waiting for that to go out,
Well, I mean, 2012 was the best year. Was the best year of the Giants. Really came up big that year. His first game against Colorado, and I was really impressed by his game in Colorado in 2012. That's when I thought, hey, he's gonna have a good season this year. We've had problems with the drug test here. Hiro Moda, a guy that we didn't keep anymore. You saw Melky Cabrera last year, and he was in controversy between even getting a World Series ring at that point. But, he did help us during the regular season, especially when Sandoval was hurt. He had to come up big. And, just in my opinion, between 2012 and 2013, 2012 had bigger guys, and we just made the right moves at the right time. Yeah,
and thanks for joining us again, talking some Bay Area baseball. Robert Dieters, thanks.
All right, thank you so much, Jared.
All right, we got some more. What are we going to talk about next? You got anything to talk about?
No, I think we're done.
Yeah, you think we're done? All right, well, thanks for listening in. This has been the Coast to Coast show here on National Sports. This was it was a fun first show. What do you think, Ian?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was a good show. It's nice talking to you, Jeremy.
We'll have to do it again with Isaac Glasser. He'll be a great expert on football, and we'll just sign off here. It's been great. Jeremy Schnell here with Ian Martin. Thanks.
This the I'm a Boss remix. Meek Millie. Let's go.
I'm ride or dies, I'm riding by Hollow West Side, right inside of my Beamer 760. Try me let off 60 shots again. We got the city hiding, popping like it's supposed to be. Do not Minaj ain't got no business standing close to me. So cold up ferocious G. things ain't a dope in me. Mind your business, watch your mouth when you approaching me. Socially, I like them, I don't love them, no. Cold heart emotionally. Hit me where the ocean is. Riding in the ghost and get slappy with a lot of spit until she's all of it. Calling shot, running on some big money. See her about my hustle, all these